Welcome to the Smokin Word. Welcome to the...
What's up, everybody? The Smokin Word podcast is brought to you by CasaDeRock.com. First of all, I want to thank everybody who's been supporting the Casa de Rock and the Smokin Word podcast movement. We've been feeling the love. Thanks for everybody looking out, reposting, subscribing, copping merch. You know, it means a lot, especially through these crazy times. And, you know, we do this shit for the love of it and for the fucking movement. But one love to everybody out there, keeping this shit alive. But the Smokin Word podcast, tune in on Apple Music, on Spotify and YouTube. But you got to subscribe. The shit doesn't count unless you subscribe. I know it's a pain in the ass. I know it seems like 2 minutes too long, but that's the way we leave a mark on the fucking whole movement to let them know this hardcore shit is out here, and we got to spread the word and spread the vibes throughout these fucking streams. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you fucking hit the like button. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you not just subscribe to the Smokin Word, but to subscribe to all the underground podcasts out there. Cop merch from all the underground bands in the trenches. This is very important right now. We're going into 2021, and now more than ever is the time to represent. So if they got a podcast, subscribe to it, like it, and fucking repost it. If they got a merch company, go cop some merch and repost it if you ain't copping nothing from it. If they got a band, go fucking stream the music. Go fucking cop the merch. That's what it's all about right now, party people. 2021 is going to be our year. Fuck this COVID shit. We're dropping a new Madball album, so you can catch me on Hoya Rock 357 on Instagram. Catch everything Madball, everything Casa de Rock, everything Smokin Word will be on there. So, yo, again, thanks to everybody who's been copping merch. We got some new shit in there. Check it out. This is a special fucking podcast. They're returning guests, but they're coming back as a duo this time. Two of my favorite humans. One of my favorite podcasts, period, out there. We're going to do this end of the year recap with the boys from the Post America podcast. Now let's set this shit off.
Welcome to the Smokin Word.
What up? What's up, fellas?
What's up?
How's the audio sound to you?
It sounds amazing. You know what's even better? That I got both you guys in one room. That it's like almost like, like those stories of two different people. You can never get them in the room. It's hard to get you guys together nowadays.
Yeah.
What's crack-a-lacking, fellas?
Looking good. Jeez.
What do you mean? You guys are looking good over there. You're looking cold, but
Yeah, it's freezing down here.
Merry Christmas to all the Christmas celebrators out there.
first of all, Joe's a heathen. These two guys are heathens. They wanted to ruin my Christmas, by running a podcast at midnight when baby Jesus is supposed to be born.
Nobody told us. We didn't know. How were we supposed to?
Richie's very religious, man. Come on, what are you talking about?
Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus, peace. Jesus, peace. Yeah, no, but no, I'm glad I was able to get to everybody. I had both of these guys on separately, but I always wanted to get them on together because I wanted to do basically Post America Smokin Word mashup because there's in our world we're like the ears of the streets. I kind of thought about it the other day. I said all these podcasts are kind of like independent news channels. You know what I mean? Like some just repeat, some got breaking news, some are just like entertainment, like the TMZs. So you know what I mean? I was thinking about it. I go, it's starting to become like that the more and more there's podcasts out. You know what I mean?
The thing I like about it, and we've been talking about doing this for a while now, like years. We've been talking about doing episodes like this. So the cool thing about what we do is like it's almost like a history podcast. It's almost like an educational history podcast. If you give a shit about the history we're talking about, it's anybody who's interested in hardcore or anybody who is getting into it or curious or whatever. If you have any interest in hardcore music, you listen to a good hardcore podcast that has on OGs, you'll learn a lot of stuff. Like I love just having people on that I get to learn from and hear the stories about the beginning of this thing that we love,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the more and more, that's the thing with the whole podcast shit. I tell people, I was like, I find interesting shit in people I didn't think I would find interesting shit, because you're forced to talk to somebody. Not just avoid them like how Richie does at a show, avoids people, just walks by them. Like, now you're forced to like dig in. No, but us, all of us, that's why I like you guys too, to especially to do something like this, because we're all guys that like going in deep on just hourly events. Forget weekly and monthly. We like hourly events, anything that's kind of cracking, we want in on.
Yo, what have you been listening to lately? Anything new or what?
What, music?
As far as podcasts.
Oh, you know what? It's pretty crazy what I've been doing now. Not a lot. Like I listen to you. I wait for you guys because I ride my bike and I always listen. I listen to you guys a lot, and it's just a part of it is one. I don't gotta gas you niggas up, but we're on the same page. We kind of on the same page with the bands we like, and the roads in this hardcore shit. We take the same roads to work. You know what I mean? So we can relate on a lot, and plus you're my boys. So since I'm dolo a lot down here, it's like hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, I would hit Richie up and be like, yo, hurry up. I'm working out, drop something already, because it gives me something. So that one is good. But I also listen to what do you call it? I've been listening to get the 411 on what's cracking. That these guys, they have the hardcore podcast, Axe to Grind.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Rich, I think, was I talking about it with you or
we talked about
one of
that,
you guys? Again, they've been doing it for a minute too, and I'm just trying to get an angle on hardcore that's not just the hardcore we know.
Yeah, some stuff that might be off the radar for us.
Yo, there's a whole universe.
Oh yeah.
Which I always kind of knew, but more now than ever. But let me get back to what we were talking about. I fucking strayed for a minute with this podcast shit. Why is it important? Well, all of us, like you were saying, Joe, like it's a history lesson, right? Imagine they had podcasts in the 50s. So you knew what fucking the Beatles were listening to when they wrote, did their thing. You were listening to what Keith Richards was listening to on the way to the studio before he wrote. You know what I mean? Imagine we knew all that. Yeah. And now our generation, like, this hardcore shit is special, dude. Like, we're living through it. We could see where it started. Even if we weren't involved, we know. Oh, I was a little kid, but it's like I knew Malcolm X when I was a little kid. I seen him. All right, you weren't involved, but you may have seen him. But you still were that. You could have touched it. Yeah. Like our movement was touchable to us. Still, it's insane.
There's something I wanted to ask you, related to that. So. We all heard this morning that Richie from Killing Time passed away.
Rest in peace, Richie. Man.
So that was one of my early influences. Obviously, like we got our name from Killing Time, So what I wanted to talk to you about how he directly influenced like your songwriting, your riff writing, and just what do you remember about like the early like New York hardcore sound where riffs started to not just be like heavy, but have like melody and depth to them. Well, like to me, his signature sound is like playing like full chords and picking chords in a hardcore song. Like that's very unique to them.
You know what's weird? That I don't know exactly which guy wrote which song. I know Mike, who's not in the band no more. He was an original. He wrote a lot of the old tracks. But these dudes are the pulse of the band. Like these guys were the guys that they had a lot to do with it too. And I talked about it with Vogel. Like me personally, I could trace the New York hardcore shit that you guys love, that we love, that it's the same New York hardcore that bounced, that wasn't metal, that wasn't punk rock, but it was his own thing, where it all came from. It all stems from one song. I talked about it with Scott Vogel, and that's Sick People from Breakdown. Okay, and I'll show you the evolution, how it breaks down. Now that one track, when you listen to it, it sounds like the wall is collapsing, the ceiling's collapsing. It's not a chug metal riff, but it's not no punk rock Victim in Pain.
Yeah.
That at that point is when the breakdown demo was out and the compilations were popping. The compilation was bringing out all the new blood, right?
Yeah.
Fast forward a little, breakdown breaks up. Though that the nucleus of that goes to where? To Raw Deal. Where now that sound and that energy had that swag where it wasn't trying to be hip hop hardcore, but it had a swag. It was metallic, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? It didn't sound like the Ramones, but it didn't sound like Megadeth. And it all comes from the Sick People. Where again, Rich was part of the breakdown, Raw Deal thing. So, and my whole shit was Raw Deal. You know what I mean? You know
who did a great cover of Sick People? Death Threat.
Did they? I haven't heard.
Look that up if anybody's listening. They did a dope cover of it.
I could pinpoint, remember listening to it and being like, I never heard anything like this. And it felt like
beat, opening up with
exactly
that beat.
What you got and what I got. The hat to the back, where was that? But with a hoodie, not, you know what I mean? That's what that shit felt like. And I was like, it was hard to pinpoint, but it all comes from that swag. And I'm glad you brought them up because I was thinking about it today too, man. Rich, rest in peace. You know, I'm Riley, you know, Power Trip, another guy we lost, you know, like I'm talking about the music guys. And then we've also lost like my boy Doyle, you know, Steve Potts, you know, and to forget about my mother, of course. You know, the year started out with that shit, you know, like we're going to take it from the beginning. Like that was one thing I wanted to touch base with was about, first of all, man, the music scene took a fucking hit in many ways this year.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fucking.
Like, how could it recover?
That's funny. It's, you know, again, that's why I pick you guys. You see what I mean? You're answering the questions out. That's what I got to talk like. Yeah, now. All right, we know what we're involved with, this whole pandemic, mask, no mask, this guy, that guy, whatever. I don't want to even get into that shit. But we already kind of got a feel of what's going on. And now what could happen, what might not happen now. What does music have to do to survive now? Like playing music, you know, live music.
Yeah, to me, it has to, listen, if hardcore shows, we could play shows again and the audience can't be involved the way we need them to be involved, it's over. It's dead. Hardcore, you know, that's not why we play the music, to play to a seated audience, to play to people who can't touch each other. You know what I mean? Like that has nothing to do with why we do what we do.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the style needs to adapt to what is allowed.
Yeah.
Or what the live application has to fit the music. So
morph.
Maybe everything needs to take like a little pause almost and mellow out so people can feel comfortable going to a live show and not feeling compelled to stage dive, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's an odd thing to consider because that's why we do it.
Yeah, you know what it is?
That doesn't happen during the show was a failure, right? So I don't know. It's a weird.
You know, I thought that shit in a way too. That was like my inner Scott Vogel hardcore kid. No, you know the video, die. But I thought about it this way, and I really meant it this way to myself. I said, "Yo, I'll play for whoever wants to hear." And then I thought about it. I said, me by not doing what you just said, which we also had those feelings. Yo, this is a live music. at the end of the day, I want to play my music for whoever wants to hear it. So if you're willing to hear it sitting down, I'm willing to give it to you while you sit down. If that's the only way I could give it to you for now. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, with me, it's like I have no interest in playing in those conditions.
I'm not like, yo, let's do it. But to me, it's but I also feel, not just because this is what we do for a living, of course, that's very important. But I also think you can't let them win.
Yeah.
You remember what we're involved? We can't let them win. You know what the punk rock shit, we go back to the earth, which we all know what, garage rock, right? What they used to call it. Why? Because you couldn't hear it nowhere but a garage. You had to find places to make this shit. It might turn into some shit like the raves were. Word of mouth, you get an egg at the store, they give you the directions, and you got to go through the forest. But I don't think we could just give in, because you just give in. Yeah. It's no longer. It's like having a mosh pit police.
Yeah, that's what
it's like. You give in.
I'm down to play. I'm down to go underground. I'm down to play prohibition style hardcore, secret shows, hidden, the peephole.
It's kind of happening right now.
It is happening, but a lot of people are even scared to say they're willing to play, because there is a big opinion that if you play or if you're willing to play, then you're a bad guy. I'm a bad guy. I'm about music before anything. So
okay, so let me ask you guys this right now. So right now they go like this. Texas is good. They have live music. We want Wisdom and Change to play. We got this club. It's 200 seater. It's all seats or whatever, and we want Wisdom to come play. We're gonna play. Give you what you need. Your regular. You make your money. You can sell your merch. You want to fly you in or whatever. The show's in 2 weeks. You play it or you don't.
I would do it. I would do it just because I want to see. I want to know what I'm saying. But I have a feeling that if people are just sitting and watching, listen. We play plenty of shows where people just sit and watch.
Trust me, my friend.
So it's not because of any rules.
I know. So it shouldn't matter. I don't know what half the motherfuckers are worried about.
But when those shows are done, it's like we want to
I know.
Almost. We're like, fuck, man. What happened? What went wrong? What went wrong? Like, that's what we're thinking after a show like that. So I have a feeling that we would play it and be really, really, really disappointed. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
I agree.
Now my answer is yes. I would play the show.
All right, good. Because I would play the fuck out of a show. I know people would talk shit, obviously, and I know, and I get it. This is live music.
Your question wasn't in the sense that the show is a seated show. It's just a regular.
Yes and no, a seated show.
Oh, seated show. I mean, if my band wants to play it, I'll play it. But I'll go in there with.
No, but that's what I mean. Nobody's gonna go and say, "Yo, this shit's gonna be dope." You know,
I'm going in with a bad attitude.
That's the problem. It's like already.
Of course, Richie's gonna already run the show.
You see, showing up thinking like this is bad, man.
Listen, it would have been dope, but Richie's already jinxing it with the negative attitude. By the way, you gotta have the hang. No, but I hear you. Like, nobody's psyched. I will say this. Let's say all first shows are going to be seated. Let's just say I will be psyched to play that first show just to be like, yo, let's talk shit afterwards. Like how it feels. You know what I mean? It's like,
what happens if you play a show that's supposed to be seated, but then the people don't cooperate? Are you then blackballed?
Now you got a great story.
That's a good show. Then
it's a good show.
That's the reaction you want.
And if not, you know what people are going to say, no matter what. If they're at your show, they want to see it. So if they're willing to sit, they're going to be like, yo, you guys killed it. It sucks we couldn't two-step, but you guys are dope.
Let's say the show only goes down if you show proof of a vaccination.
That just might happen. I thought about this shit. Believe me. This is what we do for a living. I want I don't want to get into politics because me and if we call it info riots or info threads, so our text messages, we'd be getting them fucking.
Be bad.
No, but my what were we just talking about? You see, you got me all nervous now.
The show.
Show.
Like, yo, see, if I had to sit down during Madball.
No, but listen, I hear you.
Picture this. Picture Luke Rhoda sitting down while Madball's playing.
I know.
How is that possible?
I know, but this is what I was. Believe me, I get it. But I think, everybody going into it is on the same page. They know this ain't how they would want it. So I think everybody would kind of make the best of it. You know what I mean? Like in jail, we got the half hour in the hallway, which they call a yard. But you see niggas happy. They'd be like, yo, you kind of make the best. I think people would just be psyched to be around each other.
Yeah, it would be an event for sure.
You know what I mean? Believe me, it won't be ideal. If they buy it. But I've been thinking about it, and I thought, the vaccination shit. And I had to think about this, and I've thought about it.
You got to do it, right?
I won't get into no politics or whatever. But, and I would only I'd get vaccinated in one condition. If Freddie got vaccinated. Because the only way I'll get fucking vaccinated is because, the only way I would be able to do my job was because all of a sudden now I got to get vaccinated to go to different countries. I wouldn't risk my life to do that unless I was going to do it for the band, because this is how I feed my family. And Freddie, me and Freddie, this is our lifeline. I mean, the whole band and Mike, I ain't just talk all of us. But I'm saying, if he was on board, then I'm like, okay, we're taking our, we're taking our own future into our own hands, and we're willing to do this. And I'm willing to do that if that's what we got to do. But if he said nah, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get it because I'm planning to start a new band and hopefully one day I tour. Toma, I'm not doing that.
What if he says to you, what if Freddie says, Hoya, if you do it, I'll do it?
Then we're doing it. If only hold on. Oh, same time. Only this. This is gonna have to be like the new rules in the world is this. For you to play Germany, Belgium, Holland, this and that, you need vaccination papers for all of those. That's gonna be the standard for life. Then I get it. That's the only way I would have to, because it's how I feed my family. Period. It's telling a hunter you can't hunt. They're gonna say fuck you if you whatever you like my morals or not, if you got my back or not. This is all me and Freddie know. Two things: we know how to take your money, or we know how to make music in exchange for money. That's it. So we got two options on this in this world. You know what I mean? And
you might have to go the route.
We're too old. We have families, and we don't do bad things no more. So we want to keep things. You know what I mean?
Narrow.
But
you think it'll come down to that, though? You think it'll come down to the proof of vaccination just to work?
Sometimes I think and then sometimes I don't think so, because there's a illegal business runs the world. Illegal business, and they won't let that'll stop there. You know what I mean? They're trafficking, whatever they're doing. They're coyotes, they're mules, and other in whatever sector of hustling, it interferes, being too strict.
As soon as something becomes illegal like that, or there's a restriction, it creates a business.
Exactly.
Of getting around that law. It creates a business immediately. So enterprising people, if there was like a vaccination rule or something like that, there'd be some like bootleg vaccinations or bootleg papers or whatever. It would open up a whole new business to get into.
All right. Let me ask you guys this. They go right now like this. All right, you guys are both union guys, right? Right? All right, they go like this. All right, check this out, guys.
Yeah.
You want to be in the union? You need to get vaccinated. You don't want to get vaccinated, fine, but you're no longer a union. You get no more of the benefits, no nothing. You work, I don't know how it works, a scab or however they throw what you get the leftovers. What do?
I'm out.
I got another thing going on anyway, so I'm good.
Oh, shit. But you had to think about it for a minute. I saw you, Rich had to think about it.
I'm a realtor, man.
The reason why I say, because I know you guys invested many, many years. So you also know, it ain't just a, no. As much as we don't want to do it, we think of, man, we got to feed ourselves and how
they
far
might put
life.
You in a position.
What happened?
I've seen the union do that kind of stuff to people about other things, not as severe as a vaccination. About sign this paper. You know what I mean? Everybody's got to sign this paper. And they bully people into stuff like that. I've seen it happen before. for something like that, I wouldn't do it because I have another business going on anyway that I don't need that. You know what I mean? I don't even work union anymore. Like I don't work in my carpentry job. You know what I mean? I'm a realtor in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I'm still like a union guy.
What if they say to
unions.
keep your realty license, you need a vaccination?
Exactly. Now they say that.
It's very possible. I got some too. So I'm good. But there's right now, we're not supposed to show houses. We're not supposed to show any houses to anyone that's from out of state without having a 3 days old or newer proof that they don't have COVID. They have to have a test, at least no more than 3 days old.
Crazy.
So all of my business is from New York and New Jersey. Everybody that I sell houses to is coming here from New York and New Jersey. So that basically means I can't sell any houses.
Yeah.
Like I'm selling houses one way or the other. So, I've been getting around it by certain, means. I've been getting around it. I do a lot of virtual tours or FaceTime showings and stuff like that. But like, you can't stop people from making money. And that's what's been happening all over the country, all over the world, really. People have been like, people who make their money a specific way are told you can't earn any money. That's devastating to the majority of people. So
I know.
People bands.
All you know is firsthand.
So
it's fucking insane. Yo, like it's so insane because when I said we were gonna do this, there was a couple things I wanted. I was like, yo, let me do a quick, just jot down a couple things, the year, different things that happened throughout the year. And I'm like, yo, it ain't even a year yet from when the pandemic started. Let's take it from March. Not even a year yet.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been so much shit, like all the people that we talked about passing away. That's just been since March. On top of everything else.
350,000, they say.
Oh, how many people died? I'm talking about even just the people in our world, like the Riley, my mother, there's like just in our circle, the past, if it's, for not just COVID, just the stuff that's happened all at this time.
Yeah. It's been a crazy year, even without COVID.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just on this year on top of that, but then it affected people like, it's crazy. My mom's passed not because of COVID, but I had to bury her during COVID, which we will all talk about it because not just because it was a burial and something like that, but we had to do it during the most affected time in American history.
Yeah.
During the first, you remember it was like Code 1 or whatever. It was still the early.
Yeah. How was traveling during that when you had to come back to New York?
Dude, it was bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was empty. Nothing. They go, you fill out a paper and they go, okay, you're going to be there for 2 weeks. If we call you, nobody called.
Yeah.
Nobody called. I bet you flying is the most safe place to be because they're so on top of cleaning.
Yeah.
And they're checking.
During this, it was all right.
I flew during the one. I went to New York City, which was at the worst. And I went everywhere and it felt like nothing happened. There was people mad. Everybody was just people everywhere. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yo, remember when Italy was crazy?
Yeah.
My niece lives in Italy. And when it was crazy, my brother said, okay, you got to come home. But supposedly they shut the flights down. You couldn't get home. They bought her a ticket. We're talking to her. I'm at the airport now. I'm like, oh, they're not going to let you on the plane. Oh, I'm on the plane now. Really? Oh, in New York, they're going to stop you. Oh, I'm in New York now. They stop you? No, I just walked off the plane with her. He said a word. I don't even know what's going on.
My homegirl's stewardess. So I would always be hitting her up like, what's the deal with this? What's the deal with that? When I was trying to figure out flying plans for my mom's wake, like she's like, no heavy. They say, all right, they're gonna give them an address, and if they call you, but nobody's following up, real light, This is what's going on.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying, and I'm like, and then they were like, you can't fly out, the country. Like Canada said, you couldn't fly out, but then I heard you could fly out if you had more than 80 people. How does that make sense? So why 80 people means a lot of money. That's a lot of.
They're basically saying we don't want to fly out because it's not worth it if it's just a few people.
Yeah, that's what it felt like when I heard that, and I was like, this is, again, I don't want to get into this COVID bullshit because that's just a part of the year. Listen, but that shit affected everything.
Yo, since March, I I flew down to Charlotte. I went to Boston.
Yeah, I see you flying more everywhere than ever.
I go anywhere. Nothing's gonna tell me to stay home. If I gotta wear a mask, I wear a mask. I don't sweat that. No problem. You want me to wear, but it doesn't mean I'm staying home like a sucker and sitting around. If there's a restaurant open, I'm going, and I'm gonna tip big, and I'm gonna look out as much as I could. I'm gonna eat
and I'm
whatever
gonna tip big. Yeah, no, I hear you.
Especially right now.
You're talking like
So
a real
get mad
Floridian.
about that, but right now, yeah. In PA, they say, okay, restaurants got to shut down. But this time around, a lot of restaurants said, nah, fuck you, we're not shutting down. I said, give me a list of those restaurants, I'm going.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why we're fighting that, because they're being told to shut down without any compensation.
Of course,
if they're saying, shut down, don't worry, we got you until this is over, a different story. If they're saying,
exactly,
you're on your own, nah. I'm always going to be.
The check is getting smaller, and Walmart, Whole Foods, all that shit is still open. You know what I mean? Like, they could be open, but the barber shop, down the block can't. Yeah. It's like, that's right.
I take a public bus to New York City every day. I jump on the subway every day, go, and I work in a big buildings with hundreds of guys, but I can't go to some small restaurant that might have 20 people. Get out.
Yeah, check this out. So this pandemic brought out a lot of different shit in entertainment, how it's affecting music or whatever. And I thought about this, this came out during the pandemic. It ain't even a year old. The Tiger King.
Oh, yeah.
That came out not even a year ago. Doesn't that feel like years ago? I felt like that shit was a part of my teenage years for some reason. It feels like. I don't know why.
We talked about that with you when it was first out.
It was so huge. It was huge, man. It was crazy. Everyone was talking about it.
Nuts. How nuts is that, right?
Now that lady is on Dancing with the Stars, right? That lady from
really?
Yeah.
Come on, the one who fed her husband to the tiger.
Yeah, Carol Baskin is on.
Come on, she's on Dancing with the Stars.
I'm not even kidding. I'm telling you,
crazy.
Is that
that came out in March. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not even
because you recommended it like 3 times.
Insane. Insane. That's not even a year, and it felt like since that came out so much now, and we talked about it then. It was like, okay, now you see the pandemic, it's affecting music in some ways where, okay, now music is hurting now, but a lot of musicians are doing other things, and actors, comedians, as you see, they're doing podcasts, they're doing video channels, it's crazy that it's popping that this is popping other avenues off this whole pandemic.
I wanted to see Michael Rappaport outside. He did stand up outside live.
So you went to, how was it?
It was good. It was like a little chilly, but it was like a ton of people, but in their own little sections, and it was outside, and everybody had a good time. It was something. If there's something going on, I'm going to try to support it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
To me, seeing seated is just weird,
Seated? Oh, close for a second. I thought you got Joe did a good joke, and then you were like real still, but your screen froze.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. No, but like a stand-up is kind of the same, it's kind of like some. I never went to watched a live show, live only shows on, online, and some shows aren't packed, so they're kind of like COVID style anyway, like distance.
Yeah. The tables, like a small club will have separate tables.
Yeah.
The big ones, small ones, but it was something. This was something going on, and they made their best. The venue made their best by setting up outside, putting up lights, building the stage outside. The restaurants are doing all gimmicks. Let me figure this out. We'll get some. But as winter comes and as they go day to day, like you had a couple weeks ago, we had Thanksgiving. Everybody knows day before Thanksgiving is a big day to go out.
Yeah.
Bars are back open. So what do? We're going to make some money. They stock up on all the liquor. And then the day before, they shut them down and say you can't be open.
Just for that day.
Fuck. I don't.
Yeah, they shut them down for that day.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's like people have selective, selective lawmaking. When things should be closed and for who, and like close everything down, but hold on, my daughter's getting married, so let's keep shit open long enough until after her wedding.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know if this is true or not. I saw a meme today. You should never get your news from memes, but it said that from this new bill they passed, this new stimulus bill, everybody's laughing about, oh, we get $600. Oh, what a joke, you know what I mean? I heard that Kanye West is getting $6 million.
Stop.
Joel Osteen with the big church in Texas or whatever, wherever he's at, he's getting like over $4 million.
I think they already got that from the last package.
From the last one, but what?
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. How does that work? How does that money? How does that help anybody? Somebody, it just makes no sense. It blows my mind. If that's in any way, let's cut those numbers in half. Cut them, you know what I mean? Cut them into tenths.
If they got $5, I'm pissed off.
Yeah, but that's why sometimes I don't want to know what other people are making. I don't think people should always know, because it starts making you feel like, like getting angry and short.
I don't want to be a hater. Yeah, I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to be mad at somebody for having what they have.
And I'm
holy shit, I can't fucking help it.
And I'm hearing you now, but now check this out. But this, how crazy is that? I feel exactly like you guys, but that's coming from three guys that have houses. We have a car. We have a full fridge of food. We get. It's crazy though.
I'm not even saying it for me. Like, I'm not even saying it because I feel like I'm okay. I feel like I've been okay throughout this whole thing. I can't complain about what I have going on, but just the imbalance of the imbalance of it all is just so mind-boggling when you think of it like that. $600 versus $4 million or $6 million.
Trust me, man. I know $600.
You can't split the difference at all in all of those fucking crazy stimulus rules and shit. You can't split the difference a little bit more, just a little bit. It's so crazy, man.
Yeah, it's this. The only thing that makes me take it easier, that I know millions of people are taking it with me.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that doesn't make me feel like that alienated, or me like everybody's just, it's just the lower musicians, a lot of music, the entertainment business is feeling it. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, but I'm like, what made me think about also how important music is like the other things in life that are essential, but that we really need. Like, we do need music. People need that. Not just because I needed to survive financially, but like, you see that, you guys also know people needed to get off anger. People need to listen to it to get off anger, to relieve themselves, to mentally take a vacation.
It's a medication.
Yeah, and the people that I look at that keeps me motivated on where music is going was the UFC. Now I want to big up the UFC because they showed, listen, we got to make a power move. It's going to be, the norm is going to be like, just let everything die out and let them choose when their regulations are drawn. That's when we could start. No, they took matters in their own hands. They said, we're going to buy our own island. We're doing our own regulations, and we're going to show you how we do the regulation, because that's what they started doing. Everybody started biting off the UFC. Not just because it's my favorite sport, but boom, how great was that? No sports opening, and the first sports to bring the shit back was the UFC. How crazy is that?
That is really weird.
The sport 15 years ago, you couldn't pay for it on pay-per-view. It was illegal. Boo. People rather see dog fighting than UFC back in the day.
Yo, you see Jake Paul, son? I'm telling you, he's taking over, son.
Yeah, okay. No, but as I tell you, I'm glad for that. And I got written down. You guys saw the Tyson fight then, right? Obviously.
I saw some of it.
I saw pieces of it. I actually bought it. Listen, hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Hold on. You said some of it, and you say part of it.
Listen, I paid for it. I bought it.
I don't want to see those two old fogies go at it.
And what happened?
I bought the fight. I paid for it. I have a receipt to prove I paid for it. But the whole feed was fucked up, so I only saw part of it.
Oh,
I sat, I had my food ready. Me and Anthony stayed up late. We were like, hey. And then, first of all, remember I called you the day before. I'm like, yo, I can't find this fight anywhere. He's like, oh, it's tomorrow. So I was like bugging out because I was so excited about it. So I finally, I bought the thing and I only got a little piece of it. So,
oh, great.
What'd you think?
For what I was entertained.
Yeah.
I was entertained by the whole thing. Look, was it Tyson fucking, 21-year-old Tyson? No. It also was the way they filmed it, like the aesthetics, the ring, the thing with no crowd. They actually made the shit feel dope. Like for not having,
yeah.
I loved it. I was like, you could tell they probably were like, obviously you could tell like they wouldn't let a combination go the double time long in combinations, like, you know what I mean? But you could tell a couple of times they start leading into it, two champions.
But you really didn't like boxing. Freddie always says you don't really like boxing. You're more like a grappler kind of guy.
Oh, come on, Freddie, don't say that. You starting trouble like always. No, Freddie don't say that. Freddie don't say that.
Freddie's all with the boxing. He knows what's up.
Yeah, no, it was great. I loved it. Like, and I get it. Like that's what I think they should do with hardcore. Like all these old bands that want to come back, they should go do their separate shows.
Make them battle each other to see who comes.
No, just do the legends once in a while. Don't mix it with the people in the trenches. You know what I mean?
Today versus Shelter to see who's allowed to come back.
Yeah. Oh shit, I like that.
Who wins that one? That's gonna be
who fights Shelter and who?
Youth of Today.
Youth of Today and Shelter's the same guys. They're gonna fucking beat each other up.
Damn, it's gonna be a
draw. They cancel each other out.
They both lose.
Yeah.
They don't even win.
Who really loses? The fans.
I heard an interview with the singer Youth of Today. He had like a crazy brawl that popped off somewhere. Richie's
doing what we call is fishing. Like, the thing is called pescando in Spanish. You forget, you're talking to the guy who caught Jaws. I'm like Redbeard, a fisherman also, this guy over here.
So listen, we just to go back to what you said about UFC and how they kind of like created a template.
Yeah.
The band Code Orange from Pittsburgh. Code Orange
get into them.
Is doing that. The UFC template, basically.
Yeah.
Code Orange way. And they're putting out so much content. They basically have a sound stage.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just putting out like crazy content, live videos, crazy video.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing,
They're doing a lot of really cool shit. And it's like, they're kind of like on a different wavelength from a lot of other bands anyway. Like, I don't know if every band will be able to get away with it the way they're doing it, but because they're like, they do a lot of like real experimental stuff but they're like creating content. It's dope, brand new, fresh, exciting content for their fans, and they're really doing a good job at it, man.
Let me ask you this, and ain't it kind of crazy? And it worked out perfectly. Oh shit!
That's the signature Code Orange Rebus guitar from Code Orange.
Oh shit! Dope. That shit's dope.
Yeah, look at that.
Hell yeah, dope shit. It's a nice,
huh?
Yeah, that's
a little kill switch.
Yeah, what's dope that I was thinking about them. I was like, one, obviously, they're a good band. They're definitely, their own style and very like industrial. But how perfect of a time is it for a band like Code Orange with this, the end of the world and pandemic and Code Orange, right?
Yeah.
Like the videos, those flashing lights. I could picture dudes with masks on anyway. Like the mask and disease and apocalyptic fucking germs and fucking whatnots, right?
Yeah, it's a good soundtrack for the end of the world.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I died of that. Yeah, I'd kill myself to that.
Why not?
But and they were nominated for a Grammy, right? Another one, right?
Twice, yeah. That's the second one.
Fucking crazy, right?
And to me, I mean, we've talked about Code Orange a lot on our podcast, but like the fact that they are, if they get asked in a public forum, what's your influences? What kind of bands are, they say unequivocally, we're a Pennsylvania hardcore band. That's their thing. We're a hardcore band. They never ever tried to pretend to be anything else. They say we're a hardcore band, and I fucking love that, man, because they're just
I love again. I come from that borderline era where I was considered a new school guy, but now it's considered an older school guy. Same era like you guys, more same thing like Rich or whatever. So we know what older school guys would say, call a band like Code Orange when they call themselves a hardcore band. How they get all their feathers, bent.
Yeah.
And like, but we come from an era where we understand why they're getting their feathers bent, but we also understand why they call themselves a hardcore band, because they're hardcore kids that came up from the hardcore scene with the hardcore ethics, and hardcore is an attitude. So hardcore became,
and the history.
It's an attitude now, and before it was a sound with an attitude.
The history, right? What we were saying before about the history. Well, where you could trace the leaves to the twigs to the branch to the trunk of the tree. You know what I mean? So I know what it is with Code Orange. I know exactly what it is. Code Orange is from Pittsburgh, and they grew up listening to Built Upon Frustration, and they grew up listening to No Retreat, who grew up listening to Bulldoze, who grew up listening to New York hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the direct route. Boom, right back to the thing. So when they say we're a hardcore band, exactly, and they have fans that are fans or that are whatever, Korn fans, or that are Tool fans or whatever, you know what I mean? And they say a hardcore band, what's hardcore? And then they go research it, and then that's our history. So what Code Orange sounds like, I don't care who likes them and doesn't like them. They are a hardcore band, and they are proud of their heritage that's rooted into the thing we do. And that to me is like commendable. That's respectable. We have to have, it's always the sound has to change. It has to be evolved. It has to be. Yeah. That's just progression. But as long as hardcore kids are not willing to turn their back on the history and always keep that, one hand on that branch that you came from, and it could always be traced back to the roots. You know what I mean? No, definitely. I think that's the thing about I backed them because again, early on, also, we took them on the road too, and again, they grinded. They had their sound. They stuck to their sound. They did, they had their vision. They did their thing, and they got people noticed it, and they have a work ethic, and good for them. I'm on that boat where say the name. Stigma told me that shit early on. Spell the name right. So if you're gonna talk about hardcore, just say it as much as you can, so people go in and find the Madballs, the Wisdoms and Chains, and the fucking and all the other bands. You know what I mean? I'm all for that. All these old motherfuckers that talk shit on a band like them aren't even around. And when they were around for 2 years and disappeared. And then they want to talk about hardcore's dead, new shit. Yeah, you ain't nobody. I don't give a fuck if you came out in 1980. I was around from 82 to 86. Who gives a fuck? What about the last 20 years since then? 30 years since then? Well, us and you guys, how long you been playing nonstop now? Longer than Minor Threat has.
Oh, yeah, come on.
But thank you, but that's my point. Look at, now it's different times. Now I look at things in a different way. Like, we always give props to the old school, but we also been in the grind for 26 years nonstop. So on some platforms, I do speak my mind to the older generation out loud, and I don't give a fuck because I helped build the foundation on this. It was later on. It might have been, I started from the 5th floor, but now this building's a skyscraper. Yeah, I didn't start from the foundation, but I started early on and helped build. You know what I mean? And now there's top. So I don't hate, but there's a lot of these older bands I would hate, and that happened. Same thing happened early on with Hatebreed. It was the same thing, but Hatebreed was closer to the trunk of the tree because they came directly hardcore kids who happened say, okay, we're going to play, but we're going to throw a little bit more bolt thrower in it. We're going to throw a little bit more bolt thrower and Madball in it. And they were mixing like that. They were like, Jamie used to book the Madball shows back then. The first couple Madball shows ever, Jamie was booking them, like they were, as metal as they sound and whatever they were, hardcore guys, like we know them, your hardcore dudes, but sonically, they're metallic. They're their own thing, like Biohazard, not a hardcore band. Influence, yes, but what is Biohazard? They're Biohazard. Hatebreed is Hatebreed. Those are bands that fell in their own thing. You know, Madball, New York hardcore band. We're not our own thing. We're a New York hardcore band.
When it comes to hardcore, a really cool thing about hardcore, the scene, is they love the old stuff. They want to know about it. And a really bad thing about the scene is they love the old stuff. Like, so at the same time, they give props, and that's great, but sometimes they give, like, to a band like Minor Threat, they give too much props.
I agree.
If Minor Threat stuck around, nobody would care.
Trust me, you're talking a band that stuck around. And that's why we also feel sometimes on the pendulum, when we hit a low, we feel a little bit more of it, because people know with a band like Madball, oh, we could see Madball in a couple months. You know what I mean? Madball's going to be around in a month or two. These other bands, they come out and it's the whole fantasy. Oh, I never got to see them. I heard about their one show. It was nuts. And I want to relive the picture on the 7-inch and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And
the thing with Madball, you're allowed some diversity in your own music. If Minor Threat stays like Minor Threat and they play past 10 years, how are you going to recognize one song from the other at that point?
Yeah. You know, again,
they're so condensed to what they you know, their sound. It's if they change, they're done. So they don't even have the luxury to change. So it's not like a diss on Minor Threat. It's just that they were this band, but they almost get too many props, and plus they sort of verbally abandoned the scene.
I agree. Let me ask you, how many albums Wisdom has full length?
Seven, I think. Seven.
How many Minor Threat has?
Full lengths? I don't even know if they have one.
Exactly, 1, 2. Okay, name one of these old bands. You know, and I'm not trying to diss these because I love Minor Threat. Marginal Man. You know, I've heard of them. I don't even know of them, but I know one of these. I don't even know. Let me guess, 2 albums. They probably don't even got that. But these are bands that people are like, "Whoa, my God, you don't like the Marginal Man?" And blah 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 blah. They just want to name old obscure bands that
I know.
That now times have changed in such a different way. We all put in work. You know what I mean? That's like the guys that you guys are construction guys. You know, the guys that would crawl out, you know, those wild dudes. They would crawl out on the pipes and they got those old school pictures.
Yeah.
Respect, right? Hard niggas. But guess what? You guys now have done big things since then. Thank you for that. But we also risk our lives and climb buildings and blah, 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 blah. That's kind of the way I see it too, the same way. Like, respect, but yo, dudes, you know, also, you did it early on and salute. But okay, not only have we been adding on and going through the learning curve from there on, we're still in the mix, learning and living it.
Yeah.
There's a difference when you're still in the trenches.
Yeah,
and then like,
guy.
What happened?
As a music guy, I want to see new albums from my favorite bands.
Yes.
I mean, and if they're constantly the same, I'll get bored. After 3 or 4 songs, to me, it's a wrap. I never saw them live though. Maybe live they had some special thing. It's kind of like the Bad Brains. I always hear the Bad how great they were. I like some of their songs, but I don't see it like a John Joseph type of guy.
Yeah.
You know, to me, they're not that band. Madball's that band, not to like, you know.
I hate
was our Bad Brains.
Yeah.
Existed simultaneously with our old band. So, and now we see Madball keep going in another album, and we're excited in another album. So I just don't get I'm not a 7-inch collector. I don't care too much about demo history.
Yeah.
I like active bands who are contributing constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. And let me ask you, both of you guys, this: have you heard the new Hatebreed? Hatebreed dropped an album.
I heard of it. I haven't heard it yet.
I heard teaser songs off it, and it sounded dope.
Yeah, they're fucking hard. You know, I mean, you know it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, they have a certain recipe, and some albums are better than others. But with them, for me, it's always the right production for my personal enjoyment. When they hit the right production and his vocals, when his vocals are on point, they're devastating vocals. You know what I mean? And he was really clear. Like you could hear word for word. You could hear his lyrics. I always like that. And so lately, though, some albums are better than others, but I always enjoy a Hatebreed.
Yeah, well, I actually got to go catch up on it because I actually haven't been listening to shit. I was writing music because we're working on the 10th album, you know that. And then I took the last 2 months, haven't done no music, nothing at all. I was like, I said, let me fresh. I need to get away from everything. I want to just, fresh it, go back into it fresh, blah, 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 all that bullshit. But I got a lot of music stacked
True or
up.
false?
What happened?
Oh, yeah, true or false? I heard you took the Blaze level down.
Oh, big time. Like, yeah, no, like, truth. I didn't Blaze for like 8 months, 7 months.
How you gonna write an album without the Blaze?
But I Blaze now. That's why.
Back?
No, but yeah, but I'm very light now. Before I was over. Now I'm medicating the nice way. But
will it change the writing?
No, I need to. If I didn't, there would have been a problem.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Because I gotta get in that zone. I'm too anal when I write music with my own music. Like, I really am my biggest what do you call it? Critic. But like, I'm bad with myself. And the only time I'm not is when I'm Blaze. I'll give myself a chance to iron something out, not just shit on it off the grip. It's kind of like the idea of you sitting back on your couch just strumming away. I could do that lit and not like, and not be like, that don't sound hard. That don't sound good. Oh, fuck it. I don't got it today. When I'm lit, I could just strum right now. I'll go, let me check what's online. And then, that chord sounded hard. Then they just kind of not focus and then build. You know what I mean? But been doing that, but I haven't been listening to no music because I try not to listen to music when I'm writing for a Madball album. I only listen to Madball albums because I only want to bite off myself.
Any specific album from the past you're going to?
I always, not specific, but I listen, I'll go to the classics, I'll hold it down, and then I'll go into and infiltrate the system, stuff just to get, the old classic songs. I just go over them and try to get vibes off of them sometimes. And I
How did you got Canary in the band? You're going to allow some thrashing leads or what?
Yeah, of course I want. He better fucking step up those big skinny fingers. Yeah. No, he kills it. Of course I'm going to have him get on there, but
not using him would be ridiculous.
No, and he's in like, and I already saw early on with him, like, again, me, I'm really hands-on. I'm really that, control freak in a way, but I'm learning how to tone shit down, but he's good at where I could throw him something I have already and be like, yo, could you do this in a different key? But I'm trying to do this and that. He kind of gets what I'm going at and he's good at it.
Yeah.
Kind of like, like making it happen, like chefing it up, like, sous chef or whatever. So, which is usually what I need in a guitarist anyway. Like, let me throw you my ingredients and you finesse it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Forward to it.
Yeah. I'm psyched. I got some hard shit. This record, I got some like, it really reflects the times. It's bank robbery music. Like, it sounds like urgent. You know what I mean? And but yeah, you guys been listening to anything? What you been listening to lately? What you got in the car, Joe? What you driving around to? You listen to?
Man, I'll tell you, it's been like for music, it's been a little bit like frustrating because my phone rings so much now.
You can dig in.
That my son has seen me punch my steering wheel so many times because I'll put some music on and be like, all right, let's just chill, take an hour to ourselves and just listen to some music. And then right when you're getting into it, that part's coming up and then the phone rings. Fuck. You answer it for 5 minutes. Then I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, thanks. Then I hang up and I got to call 3 people about whatever that phone call was about. So now 15 minutes later, I get back into the thing, but the vibe is gone. And it's like, that's the worst way to listen to music. So every now and then I'll put my phone on airplane mode and just listen to something, you know what I mean? But it's always something old. It's always something sentimental. It's very rarely ever like a brand new thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like what you've been rocking.
I put on the other day, I put on Wu-Tang Forever.
Oh,
and
right.
Yo, there's a song on there called Impossible.
I'm gonna go check it out.
The pinnacle of Wu-Tang.
Yeah, oh really? I gotta
That's Wu-Tang at their Wu-Tangest.
At their wooiest.
the wooiest. It might be their best like all around like song ever that they ever did.
So you've been going back on old school Wu-Tang and the old school hip hop kind of shit.
Yeah, old school hip hop. Man, my son really got into Far Side.
Yeah, of course. In my younger days, I used to go to San when I brought lunch in the bag. Of course.
My son got into the Far Side recently, so we've been listening to some like old school stuff like that, and he listens to a lot. He basically kind of DJs, and we drive around a lot together. So I listen a lot to whatever he's listening to. He's been listening to some reggae stuff lately. He loves old music, man.
Okay, yeah. You know what I'm noticing now? You know, the younger generation was listening to new school shit, but this younger generation is getting turned on to the old school shit. A lot of these generation of kids, there's a new generation coming out. They're all into the old 90s shit. You know, the early 90s, that, you know, from even late, you know, the Kid and Plays, like that era shit, the Flat Tops, like that, like the Far Side's a little bit more fun rap. You know what I mean? More like,
yeah, before it got too like serious, and you know, there's like a little bit of bravado, but it wasn't all about like who's the best at killing.
Now it's fucking every rap video is a Fed case. It's information for a Fed case. Everybody's getting federal indictments now. Everybody's getting.
Now it's crazy.
Casanova, fucking he's locked up in the Feds. All these guys.
Casanova's done.
Then all these guys, the Feds are, you know, they ain't playing games. You know, it's insane. Richie, what you listening to? What you listening to? That's no old what?
Typo Negative a lot. Typo Negative.
Oh, you still with your Typo guy?
Love Typo.
You know what was it with them? Like they were hard. I get the concept, and it was dark, but that shit was boring to me. Like, you know.
Yeah, if you're not into it, I could see. But during the winter, at night, Typo Negative, October Rust.
When I'm sharpening the guillotine on, you know, like exactly your axe.
You know what? Listen.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Pick one night. When you're gonna blaze again heavy, put in October Rust headphones alone.
Hot in the dark, naked.
It's a trip. The whole album is a trip, man. It's all over the place.
Yeah, I used to listen to that with Big Show. Late night, me and Big Show would always drive home from Wisdom and Change shows, and that was like one of our favorites. Was put on Typo Negative. Late night driving, dude. Some heavy vibes, man.
No, for sure, because it's the Sabbathy, the dark. But I remember being like, he's like,
yeah, and I like that craziness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like, all right, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm like,
if you're gonna have an image, I want it to be real. And the dude drank himself till he was dead.
Listen, I told you the Pete Steele story, right? I have the best Pete Steele story. So,
CasaDeRock.com, home of that fly DIY. You want to support the show? Go cop some merch right now. We got a lot of new t-shirts, shorts, and caps available. Everything is made in-house by your boy on the spot. So show some love, support the movement. CasaDeRock.com is a spot.
With the hot chicks?
Yeah, I told you that one, right?
Yeah.
No, tell me.
Go ahead, tell it again.
All right, yeah. So we're playing this festival, it's crazy because I saw the date. I think it was in the 98, something like that. It was like World Rock, one of these Girls Rock, whatever. But it was Deftones, Danzig, Black Sabbath, Typo Negative, Madball. It was insane. It was insane. We were like the only hardcore, but it was insane. Like it was unreal. And so we're like, so whatever. We're all hanging out, and it was the early days of big festivals. Like now, you know, we're all vets with festivals. You know, all of us, you guys, us, like, you know, we've been lucky to play a lot of big festivals now. You know, all our bands. But back then, it was still real fresh. So whatever, so we're all amped, you know, everybody's, got there, the laminates, where's catering, let's hang out, you know, the whole fan. And then right away, all these girls start rolling up and they're like, yo, blah, blah, blah. They're like, yo, is Pete in here? And we're like, yeah, Pete's in here, come on. So it's like, no joke, like 8, 10 girls. So we bring them in the backstage room, and they're all like, "What's up, guys?" Oh, and we're like, "Oh, fucking yeah, drinking beers, hanging out." The girls all hanging, we're all chilling, blah blah blah, and we're all having a good time and whatever. And then the door opens up, and it's fucking Pete Steele, and he fucking walks in, and he's like, "Hey," and Vinny's, Stigma was what it's like. "Hey, Pete, what's up?" Stigma, he's like, "Hey, Vinny," he's like, "Gentlemen," he says to us, whatever, he says some real like cool vampire shit, he's like, "Gentlemen, I see," and he goes, "Oh, as you could see, I could see you found my ladies," and he's like, and we're like, "Oh, yeah, that wasn't for you, blah blah blah," and he's like, "Yeah," he goes, "Okay, hey, Vinny," he says something to Vinny like with a voice like, "Good to see you, blah blah blah, okay, I'll see you later." Then he goes to the girls, "Ladies, schnell, schnell," in German, "Come, come." They all got up and they all walked out with him. Yo, it was insane. I was like, dude, this guy got a fucking that pussy control, nigga.
See, I got to put my tour.
Always with the laminate.
Yeah, it was insane, but it was funny. He goes, "Gentlemen, as you can see," he says, I forgot how he said. He said some shit like Count Dracula would say. But fucking,
he was the real deal. The image was real, and I like that. If you're gonna be a tough guy, a gangster rapper, I want you to be a real gang. I want you to go down in the blaze, like.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It was the real deal, and his music was good. And to the point where a slight change, and it's easily mainstream, and he's over the top.
Like what I give it to him was like, as much as you want to start hating him, thinking there's too much of a fantasy, he'll come out and say some joke where he don't take himself serious, where you can tell,
totally.
And that's what I like. I'm like, at the end of the day, nigga, you from Staten Island, dude. You were a garbage man. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the end of the day, he didn't take himself how some people did it. You know what I mean? It's always the fans that always paint that crazier picture of the artist. Like everybody that came to a Madball show for the first 20 years thought, "Oh, I gotta punch somebody in the face." Like, it's a Madball show.
Mandatory.
It's mandatory, like if you didn't get punched in the face, if there wasn't a fight at a Madball show like 20 years ago, I'd be like, "Yo, it's slipping," because and not just because we wanted it, it's just because it was the norm.
Yeah,
it really was the norm. It got so played out that we would play back in the day. We'd start playing Ready to Fight. We stopped. They're fighting, ready to fight. Start playing Ready to Fight. Just fuck it, kill yourselves.
At what point did Madballs did, or maybe you never did, but did you guys start getting frustrated that the shows were too violent?
Absolutely. That was, early on, it was our own fault at first, obviously. We had a lot to do with it early on, but when we started touring more and it became our business, our family business, we saw how it was affecting business. Like now we're taking the music seriously, our art seriously, and we're building, we're investing time, and leaving our families and all this shit to do this, and then we're shitting right on it. Then we started realizing, we're like, yo, these guys are, we just traveled 12 hours. Now we only played 30 songs because two morons want to punch each other in the face that live in the same town that could have done it 2 months ago, but they picked the Madball show when we had to drive through a snowstorm to get there.
Did you ever have to cut anybody off? Any guys that would consistently come? Did you ever have any troublemakers amongst like the crew or anything like that, or not really?
Oh yeah, half our crew we had to leave behind. Like, yo, you can't come, because they want to get in the pit, and then where they dance is too hard, and then people get too scared. Or we know they just sore pit losers. You got some friends, they're sore pit losers. You know what I mean? They get hit the wrong way. Like that. They all of a sudden they got like a list of justifying the hit in the pit. It's like, yeah, you're in the pit, dude. Hatebreed's playing. You're gonna get punched in the face. You know what I mean? It's like a white trash guy punch you in the face.
Yeah, there's certain people who we brought around with us to shows, and they almost feel obligated to go berserk when you.
Oh yeah.
Which is like, it's go have a good time, but like don't ruin it.
But they don't know. Know.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eric, fucking Pennsylvania Eric. When we play, I don't even want him I'm always looking at him. He loves Madball, but I'm always looking at him like, no, because one, you're a kickboxing champion. Number one. Number two, you like to fight. Like he likes to fight. And number three, he loves hardcore music. So that's three things already. And then he wants to be in the mix. He He's not a guy that wants to stand in the back. He wants to be right up front, in the middle. And then I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. There's guys that are not allowed to whop. He's not allowed to sometimes too. Like, because these people
like a tank.
Yeah, they maul people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, but yeah, fucking it's crazy. But like, though, and coming closer to the end of the year, and it's funny, I was just thinking about the heathen shit you guys told me about doing podcasts on Christmas that you were trying to get me to do before. Thanksgiving just passed. You heathens celebrate Thanksgiving, right? All right, you won't celebrate the guy on the cross, but you'll celebrate stealing the Indians' land, right? You'll do that, right? That's okay. Okay, just saying. But all right, back to let's get back to
you have that written down. You have that written down on a piece of paper, don't
you? Yeah.
Listen.
PowerPoint. No, but how is Thanksgiving? You guys both you did a Thanksgiving, Joe. Let me ask you, Joe. I want to start with Joe because I know Joe didn't come up with Thanksgivings, but I know you would have him at one of your family members' houses that you would go to, right?
Yeah,
do
always.
You do it at your house, or you still go to your family member's house?
Well, everything was different this year because of
I forgot
COVID. The COVID and all that stuff. So especially with like elderly people who would
I forgot.
Yeah, somebody who's old. So I told like when we did the podcast before, I told you what my son was doing with the deboning the turkey.
Yeah. I want him to come debone some turkeys.
He did it again, man. Whew. Crazy, man. So good. Cornbread, sausage, stuffing, he did. Oh my God. Man.
That's what I'll tell you what I did after you. But so your son made the turkey. Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, my son made the whole meal. He made everything.
That's crazy.
I want to rent him out next Thanksgiving.
He's dope, man.
I'm gonna bring him over.
He knows what he's doing.
I'm gonna pimp him out and be like, yo, pick him up in a nice ride.
He probably won't see this before Christmas, but like his Christmas presents it's mostly kitchen stuff. Like,
dope.
Food
this podcast, I'm dropping this on New Year's Eve. This is this year I'm this week I'm skipping the 1 week. I wanted to end the year off because it falls on New Year's Eve.
Okay, tight.
So this will come out next Thursday. But
yeah, so he just loves to cook, man, and he loves just like inventing stuff and learning new techniques and things like that. So he made Thanksgiving. He's got all kinds of stuff planned for this week too. You know what I mean? So
that's dope. What are you doing for Christmas? Okay. What are you gonna do for Christmas? Are you doing anything for Christmas? Because you're the odd man. You're the more what do you call it? Delicate exterior on these subjects of holidays.
It doesn't bother me. I like, to me, I see the beauty in Christmas. I see the beauty of it. I see the beauty of all of these holidays that I didn't grow up with. But the sentimental part of it that everybody else has, I just don't have it.
Yeah.
So what's sentimental to me is giving the kids their stuff. That's like where I started. That's like my beginnings of Christmas. So like, I think I told you this before, but the first Christmas I ever celebrated was with Richie.
Yeah.
Richie took me down to North Carolina with his girlfriend at the time. We went down to her family's house in North Carolina, and I was just going on a trip. I wasn't going there for Christmas.
Yeah.
They bought me Christmas presents.
Yeah.
They bought me Christmas presents, and it was like I didn't know what to do with myself. I got my ears pierced at the mall. I went to Piercing Pagoda in the mall. I got my ears pierced, and I bought a Slayer CD.
Perfect Christmas gifts.
Rain in Blood. This is my first Christmas. I bought Rain in Blood, and I bought Sepultura, Arise, and I got my ears pierced.
Yeah.
And I was fucking living it up, man.
Yeah.
That was my first Christmas in North Carolina. But that was my first time, and I was like, it didn't feel like natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel you. I know what you mean. Like, even like, and this is why I ask, because even Christmases are different with people that celebrate Christmas. They do it different. Like Latin people do it different than white people. White people do it different than American. Like Italians from the old school do it different than American white people. American white people do it different than Latin. You know, we got these little. It's different too. Like Latin people, we do our Christmas Eve. We wait till midnight, and 12 o'clock hits. Everybody opens their presents. White people wait till the next morning. You wake up and the kids run out. And you know, to me, that was always like the white kids did it. You know what I mean? And then some people wouldn't do it even like that. They'll just Christmas Day, whenever you roll up, you open your presents. You know, I've heard people do that kind of thing too. Like, I don't know, I've heard all different styles, but Richie, what did you do for Thanksgiving?
Sisters.
Your sisters?
I haven't had a good, properly cooked Thanksgiving turkey in years.
Still, you haven't?
Know the secret how to cook a turkey anymore.
I'm gonna tell you.
I don't know. But everywhere I go, it's my favorite meal of the year, and I'm disappointed.
You got beat this year again?
Sides are getting better and better, but the turkey itself.
Yeah, so you had a beat meal.
I knew it. I told her ahead of time, like, you don't know how to do this. What are you doing? Like, we got to get somebody who knows how to do it. No. I was reading this, and then you get it, and it was like almost like
Joe,
wet, like, you know what I mean? It's like this dissolving in my mouth.
Yeah. You know what I ended up doing? Well, first of all, you know, obviously my mom's passed away. She was the one that did that was her department. And nobody could cook like that lady anyway. Rest in peace to my mom's. But so long story short, I picked up the cooking duties in my fucking house for my son. And I'm not a cook. I also have to do it because I started eating cleaner, and I have to be able to watch what I'm eating. So long story short, I'm the fucking cook of the house now. But long story short, I burn water. So I was like, what the fuck is gonna happen now?
Burn water.
Yeah, so what I ended up doing was I went to Whole Foods and they sell the ready-made meals. So let me tell you, it was like $150 for like 6 people, 6 to 8, which is good. And it's Whole Foods. So it's like, I got apple brine turkey, some apple brine with cornbread stuffing, green beans, mashed potatoes, like 2 things of mashed potato, all this shit. All you got to do is heat up the shit. And I look like a professional.
That's nice.
That's what I was trying to tell her.
Did you put the apron on?
Oh, yeah, it's in fronted.
Oh, come on.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm like, hold on 1 second. Yeah. You know, yeah.
Almost ready, guys.
Just washing my hands over here. It's almost done.
Yeah, hold on, and you hear the microwave buttons. Deep, 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 deep. No, but let me tell you, it was fucking banging. And the main thing is this. There's 2 main things that happen with turkeys. 2 complaints. It's either too dry or it wasn't cooked through, right? That's the main concerns, you know. Flavoring, okay, whatever. You could always put gravy, but that's the 2 concerns. The good thing about this is one of the 2 things gets eliminated. It's already pre-cooked. So basically, the worst come to worst, it would be cold inside. But if you cook it right, it's not going to be cold. So you don't got to worry about cutting into the shit and the shit is going to be bloody. At least you know it would be cold at worst. Worst comes to worst, you could still cut it up and heat it up in pieces if you need it. But that was the only problem I had, and it was brined. It was like that. It had a good taste and it looked good. So I was like, yo, I'm never fucking buying. Well, I don't know how to cook a real meal anyway, unless I could serve scrambled eggs and fucking toast for Thanksgiving. But
pretty good, but I don't got the balls to attempt a turkey, and I don't think my sister should either, or anybody else that doesn't know how.
Turkey's hard.
It's too important of a meal to wing it that day.
Yeah, I agree. And this is the thing. What your son does, I'm gonna learn. So my boy brought me a turkey. So I'm a fucking Frankenstein this shit because I saw it on TV. I think they call it you scotch it? Is that what your son did? Well, basically, this is when you got the turkey, right? The turkey's like this. You cut the spine off and you butterfly it, kind of like what Joe said. So it's just butterfly turkey. Like if you cut it in the middle, you butterflied it. And it's supposed to cook easier and cook good.
Oh, all right.
So
it's real easy. And what he said is one of the things that's very important to cooking a turkey is having a thermometer and checking the temperature with a thermometer.
Yes.
Time
inside, yes.
Turkey is like its own unique bird. So there's the bone structure, the density of the whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The only way to really know if it's cooked right is to put a thermometer in it.
Yeah. I learned how to rock that shit.
Under the tongue.
Yeah, no wonder. I've been checking the turkey. I've been putting the shit in my ass, and it comes out fucking 98 degrees every time. Yeah, but fucking no, but the shit was I learned. I was like and a thermometer is something I learned to have is a game changer, because if you make chicken or something with bones in it, you know what's the thing? You always got to take it out, open it, and then you fuck up a piece of meat is not cooked. And this you check it right in. If it's 161, chicken is cooked, pork is cooked. Yeah. You know, it's like kind of like I learned because I had to kind of dive into this whole Emeril Lagasse world. He's even outdated. Yeah. But
I made my son. Well, I didn't make him do this, but when he said he wanted to do Thanksgiving, I told him, why don't you do like a practice one first?
Yeah,
he did 2 practice
smart
giving meals before the real one. So
by
the third one came around, he knew exactly what to do. Everything was faster. Everything was like more efficient, you know.
That's amazing. And Rich, what are you gonna do for Christmas? What do you guys do? You do a how would you do Christmas meal? How you celebrate Christmas? I mean, I know you're a heathen sloth also, but I'm saying, did your family do it Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? Did you
Christmas have a Eve, meal on Christmas Eve? We don't eat any meat.
Fish.
I'm not a fish guy, so I'll have pastas. And we'll make some pizza. There'll be 7 fishes. We do that whole gimmick. The 7 fishes. Now we do like the Latinos where nobody sleeps till the next day.
Yeah, basically.
Bugging out and late at night, 12 or 1. You know, if it's a real little kid, they might get up 2 or 3 in the morning, and then the presents are there.
Yeah.
When you're gonna see a half-eaten cookie, like, you know, Santa took a bite, left it behind. During COVID, though, we're asking Santa not to bite the cookie and leave it behind. Either eat the whole thing or don't touch it.
Virtual cookie.
Yeah. But so we're gonna do that for Christmas Eve. No, and then for Christmas, we're doing spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti and meatballs. So you eating spaghetti. Joe, what are you eating for Christmas dinner? Or your your 25th meal dinner?
I really don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know.
Oh, nothing planned, even like.
I'm sure my son is cooking up something, but I'm out of the loop with that.
Yeah, good shit. I bought a ham from Whole Foods. I did that same road, so let's.
Nice.
I learned my lesson.
Dope ham on Thanksgiving, last Thanksgiving. Sliced it all up thin, stuffed it. It must have been so bad for you with brown sugar, syrup, and pineapples.
I love it.
In the what do you call it? Crock pot.
I love it.
Nice.
It was.
I gotta check the calories on that.
That sounds incredible.
It was.
Yeah, that just sounds like mad calories.
Sweet, salty, greasy hams.
Oh my god! I feel like you see my calorie counter is going off.
Yeah, yeah. You would probably, you know. But check it out. I'm in like the Hoy's camp. When I lost my mom years ago, food went down.
Yeah,
downhill, and has never
been the same. I know, it's every day. You know, we talk. Me and my sons are like, "Yo, could you make this?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't know that." Could you make like grandma? Nah, no. We be eating cigarettes. Remember when grandma? I'm like, "Yeah, I remember." I'm like,
I don't wish you would have learned a couple of those.
You know, like I was never the cook guy anyway. Like I was never just into cooking. So I learned a couple little things from her, but I was never. It just wasn't my. I'm too gorilla hands. You know, I got paws. Like, you know, it's like
good for tenderizing the product before.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I would be good at that. I would be good at making mozzarella or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, if I was gonna do some milking a cow, you know, like, like I'll be good at that, like something like that. You know what I mean? But like delicate, like pinches of that and little spoons.
I'm gonna make a ravioli.
No.
You're gonna tear
ravioli. You kidding
Maybe
me?
an empanada you can make. That's a little more. You can be more rough with
maybe
that.
Maybe an andale. But I'm glad that 2020 is over. But again, by the time this shit is over, you know, by the time this podcast drops, we're gonna be, you know, hours away from fucking 2021.
Hey man, we don't know, man. 2021 might come out blazing and fantastic.
Yeah, and I think if we will it enough, it could happen. You know what I mean? I'm like, I think. You know, look, if people got through the Spanish flu back then when people didn't have shit, Now we have everything. We're gonna lose it. We'll lose it if we give it away.
Yeah.
Put it like that. You know, if the people give it away, and you could take that for whatever I mean, music, freedom, this, that, but if the people give it away, it's the only way we're gonna lose it. Because if we really want it, we'll keep it. Because we go through adversities. Every generation goes through something. And now, when our brains are the most developed and we're our smartest, yeah, we're getting our stupidest, our dumbest, you know what I mean? But also, right before we reach that circle of being full-blown morons, we're at our smartest too. Where we got technology, all this. You know, we just people gotta wake up, and just in general, we gotta like just stay on track and not give up. And it got nothing to do with politics. It got to do with like bringing normal life back to whatever your normal was.
And don't get distracted with don't get distracted by memes. And that means across the board. It means topics. It could be, whatever the hot thing is of the second. You know what I mean? I remember people were bugging out like the end of the world is happening about trans issues.
Yes.
Shim or whatever, like all, the pronouns, whatever the pronouns were. People were going crazy about it. Oh my God, life is not gonna. Come on.
Yeah.
People were freaking out like it was the end of the world, that somebody was trying to get you to change a thing or whatever, or you're not calling me what I want to be called. Oh, I have to call you what you want to be called. Everybody, it was such a big deal. Nobody's talking about that shit now.
Yeah, you know what it is?
But it's not as big of a deal because it's not the headline anymore.
People just want to be heard. And now there's a platform. So if you let them babble, they get tired and they don't care. Because all right, everybody heard me. All right, now you got it off. All right, you feel good about yourself. You got your more, you let your shit off your chest. That's the problem.
And it's both sides of the, you know what I mean? It's both sides of every argument. It's the same thing. If somebody says, hey, this thing's important to me, no matter whether it's valid to you or not, they're speaking their opinion. But as much as it is valid for some people, it's completely invalid for other people. Sorry. And people will resist it as hard or harder than the people who are trying to get their voice heard. You know what I mean? So and it basically takes over all conversations until it dies out, until the next thing comes along. So people were freaking out, like for example, about trans issues until like something like Tiger King comes along.
Yeah, and then it takes.
Nobody's talking about it anymore because now everybody wants to know if Carol Baskin's a murderer or not, and nobody cares about this thing that was like on everybody's lips.
Yeah.
For months before that. Now it's gone, and everybody wants to care about the next thing.
No, I know. It's hard to bring in what you want.
People care about nothing.
Yeah, people know what to bring in, what they would leave on the tip of your tongues. Like, nobody even talks about this bitch that had the Weinstein or whatever, who has all the connects. Yeah, this bitch, they got her locked up. She knows all the info. Nobody cares about nothing. Nobody gives her airtime and nothing.
It's over.
It's nobody cares. Nothing. They got her. She's in there. She's connected to all that. She's Twitter, and nobody cares. You won't catch 5 minutes on the air on that.
I wish her the best. I wish her the best.
I wish. You know what I mean? But
2020 sucked, right? 2020 sucked.
2020 sucked.
But look at Hoya Rock. So good thing happened in 2020 for everybody. If we think about it, you look like a pro athlete.
No, thank you. Not a pro. No, I say this too about 2020. I don't fully call it a shit year because of this. Not just because of that, exactly. But I really saw the year for what it was with my mother passing. It was a wake-up call I needed, that I knew was coming. It wasn't by a surprise, but I needed shit to happen for me to turn those fucking jets on, those jet fuels on. And maybe if things didn't happen the way they did, I would have been going towards another route, health wise, or even my focus. My focus was always on my kids, but I had other shit going on that kind of fogged it up and made it feel like, oh no, I know what it is. It's right here. When it should have been right here, always in front of me, which it always was, but I had regular life. And again, I was on the road for 26 years nonstop. So my life I finally came to a halt, and I had to see my life for what it was, right in front of my face, no hiding from it. Now you got to swallow it, you got to deal with it, and you got to do it by yourself. I mean, with my family, but not with friends, not with nobody, not in my city, not during where friends could all come down. Pandemic, I had to, and I asserted myself, and it was for my son. And again, that's the magic of my mother doing her magic, that even with her not being here, she worked a miracle with getting one of the laziest guys to get up off his ass and to start making power moves. You know what I mean? Like that alone was a power move, like a magic feat. Like I always knew I could do anything I want to do, and I knew I wanted to do it, but I was being lazy, just living life and whatever. And my mother passing away gave me extra years of my life, hands down. So my mother even gives to me from the other side. That's the way I took this year, which I still think is the worst year of fucking my existence, but still something great came out of it. Was my focus.
And that's what everybody should try to see.
Yeah, and there is, and you could see it, because I tell people this. I say to us sometimes when we text each other, whatever, I go, if you're able to read your Insta message or get a text message, you're okay. Not that life is okay, but you're not on the gutter like some people that have zero. There's people that do not have nothing. They live under an underpass right now. Like, sure, we have tough things, but I said it on one of these podcasts before. It's something my mother told me when I was going through, when my wife was very sick and she was passing away, and I was on that, fuck everything. Blah, blah, blah. My mom told me this, and I probably told you guys already, and it sounds like some Kung Fu Panda shit. And when she told me it, in my head, I was like, shut up. But it was a fact. She told me the greatest thing God gave us was tomorrow. And when she told me that, I said, I don't want to hear this shit. I don't want to hear this shit now. I got people dying, ain't none of that shit happen. But you know what the fact is? You start thinking, the worst. Everything is falling down. I had a brand new son, and I would look at my brand new son, and I'm like, man, I'm going to see my son. I got to be there to watch him grow. Look at him. He's moving. Oh, all the new great things that come with that. And if I didn't wake up that next day, I wouldn't be able to get that smile that my son made me have for that 1 minute, 2 minutes while life was going on. And then I learned, that smile kept me going to be there for my wife during the other bunch of hours of the day. And then you know what I mean? And then I started, it becomes that. And then you start, it's just, you learn how to make this whole shit makes you learn how to make something good out of bullshit. Like, you got to plant shit to make something grow. 2020 was full of a lot of shit. So hopefully some good shit grow out of this. You know what I mean?
I like what you just said. Beautiful. And it goes back to Madball itself. What's Madball say? What's tattooed on my arm that Madball says? Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah.
That's the key.
That's what I was. Yeah, we got no. That's everybody. When I say, we can't stop, I don't mean we, Madball. I mean everybody in our world, in our movement.
Exactly.
That's why also I wanted to do this mashup with you guys, because it's very important. What we're doing now, we do it because we love it and it's a part of us. But it's very important that we're feeding the people. And when I say this, I don't mean like, oh, we're giving them what they need. No, we're keeping the pulse alive of our world. These podcasts and new merchandise and online streaming shows. It's like a respirator. It's keeping the shit alive. It's pumping air in it. And that's what
we're like a methadone clinic right now.
Exactly. We're the respirators all these motherfuckers need. Exactly. We're keeping alive so we could breathe on our lungs again. The live streams, the podcast, it keeps the culture alive. What's the bands in the mix of stuff? It lets you know what's going on. We could hear things. We could talk about the live streams some bands are doing if they were doing the live stream shit. So
It's something because
it's something.
there's no
And
live.
my point being with this whole shit was, again, to end out with you guys and was to end with a podcast that gives, like what we all do, we give back to the thing that we love. Was that that's why I wanted to end the year with a recap, and also going into the new year that this world got to keep doing this. If the world keeps, we shouldn't need a pandemic to keep telling people, support my boys podcast, support my boys merch company. We shouldn't need a pandemic for that shit. Hardcore is already small as it is, but maybe now this shit, kind of brings back what we were meant, what this whole shit was about. You know what I mean? Like really supporting each other through tough times. And that's why I felt it was important to do mashups and to always show it ain't just the spoken word. It ain't just Post America. It's Diablos, then it's fucking Blast Furnace. It's everybody doing their thing, And I salute you guys for doing your thing so long. You guys always keep me motivated. And as soldiers in this hardcore army we have that we live in, I'm glad. I salute you guys and everybody else in the movement. Anything you guys want to tell anybody? What can we expect from the Post America podcast and Wisdom in Chains in 2021?
Big things.
Grande.
Huge.
Venti.
Things.
Big things. But all right, new music. We're gonna get more What happened? When are we gonna get? I want to know this before we get out of here. When are we gonna get the Post America OG crew together? I need to hear Math. I need to hear everybody.
Mav is very scared of leaving his house.
I want you to tell him I said what's up, because I know, he's a quiet guy, and I know he got the COVID, but he's too smart to get, for anything really to happen to him. So
you know what? His girlfriend is bad condition.
Yeah.
And it's risky for her.
Gotcha. No, I know.
Stuff like that. So he makes it all possible because I email him the stuff and we don't know how to do it. He posted up whatever he does.
He touches every episode.
Right.
Still in the mix, but I would love to get it going, like the three of us again. But hopefully soon. Until then, there's going to be some random ones. I'm going to have one with Frankie from Death Before Dishonor.
Yeah, dope.
Frankie, he's always fun. Got a couple other people lined up. Professional wrestler guy, we'll have him on, like a WWE guy.
Yeah, oh, dope shit.
Bobby D, Robert De Niro special episode.
Yeah, oh shit. Yeah, I tell you, you guys are my workout routine. When I be like, there's certain podcasts I listen to, you guys, a couple other ones I put in on my go-to to ride to. So I hit Richie sometimes. I'm like, yo, drop something already, man. I got, you let too many weeks go by. And then I go back to old ones all the time.
I got crazy because I started learning how to record stuff on a computer. Like I'm getting a little better with like Cubase and programs.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm just going to experiment a little bit. Next thing I know, it's a couple hours. I'm like, I could have snuck a podcast in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but good shit. So we got more podcasts coming. We got more wisdom coming. Are you guys planning to do any live streaming shit? Anything like that? Anything in your...
As of now, nothing in the works.
Us neither. We ain't planning to do none of that shit. I know some bands were doing it. Just curious if you guys were like...
Yeah, we didn't have. I mean, if we show up live on Instagram for a minute or two, might do something like that. But nothing organized and on record and in advance.
But good shit, I'm glad I got you guys. I'm glad we got to end the year out together. Everybody out there, thanks for supporting the whole underground, especially the hardcore movement, but all underground movements. Thanks for supporting all the fucking podcasts. Like I say it every time, it doesn't count unless you subscribe. You have to subscribe. You got to rate the shit. You got to spread the word. You got to repost. You got to do all that good shit because that lets the big wigs know that there's motherfuckers in the trenches out there grinding. So the way you really support and subscribe, there you go, like that. There you go. You got that mad bullshit. We want you to hit. All right, before we get out of here, where could they go copy the fucking fast break shit, any wisdom shit? Give us all your websites for any.
Fastbreakrecords.com. What's the next big fast break thing?
Next big fast break release, MH Chaos from Chicago.
MH Chaos, really cool band from
They have something coming out. And check out Crucified Straight Edge merch.
Yep. Where they get
Joe
it at?
Hardcore Keith. What's that?
Where could they get it at?
Go to the Instagram page and follow the link.
All right.
Crucified Straight Edge. Then
All right.
Wisdom and Chains. We always, we randomly put a little shirt out or something like that. And the coffee's in stock. Joe, grab that coffee right there.
Yeah. I love the packaging, man. The greatest package in there.
The coffee's back in stock.
Good shit.
Dead Sled Company. And guess what? They just brought a new band into their custom coffee. Guess who it is?
Who?
Kiss.
Oh, there you go.
Crazy?
That's crazy.
Listen, if it's going to be somebody else after Wisdom, who else is going to be?
So we're supposed to be doing.
Was it going to be Weezer?
With Kiss. No, that's wild though, right? Kiss and
No, but hell yeah, that's dope. Everybody out there, make sure you go cop that Wisdom and Chains coffee. Go cop that Wisdom and Chains merch. Go cop that fast break shit.
We just released a 7-inch not too long ago with Sharp Shock. Sharp Shock Wisdom and Chains split on Fast Break Records, or you can listen to it on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Mancuso.com, whatever you want.
Yeah, go get that 7-inch, no rainbow. Yo.
Mancuso.com. Don't sleep on Mancuso.com.
Yeah, Mancuso.com. And yo, everybody, you know the deal. CasaDeRock.com. My house is your house. Thanks to everybody who's been supporting the movement, who's been supporting me, looking out. I got new merch, new podcast dropping for 2021. Look out for the Post America Smokin Word collab t-shirt we're going to work on and drop, because we said it, but we're going to do that and drop it. And yo, I love you guys. Thanks for jumping on. Wisdom and Chains, Post America podcast.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
One love. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. If you're a heathen sloth or not, we out of here.